The story of how I got into crochet and now it's my job. So I'm going to have to condense this down massively because it all started in 2016, right? So I met my now husband in 2015. Long story short, he basically tricked me into thinking that he wasn't into gaming when he wholeheartedly is. So I did not want to be with someone who was a gamer, and he clearly wanted to be with me and just so decided to tell me that he wasn't into gaming when he was. And as the months went by and, you know, the gaming started to creep in, we had quite a few disagreements about it. In the end, it got to the point where he was like, you need to get a hobby. I was an art student, like, before I met him, and I used to do painting and stuff at home, but I'd kind of not really been into it because it was just awkward and messy. I liked painting with oil paints and they take forever to dry, and it was just kind of like almost like too much hassle to bother with it. I kind of wanted to do something that would like bring out that creative side. We both googled it together, like hobbies you can do, and it comes up with like a list of 100, and I saw crochet on there. I briefly learnt how to knit when I was a child from my nana, so I knew I could do it, but I could not remember anything about it. So I went onto Amazon and I bought like this little crochet kit that comes with like a 4mm hook, a few little things of yarn, like not even balls, they're like wrapped around cardboard, and it was a really basic set. And then I went onto YouTube and I just YouTubed how to do it. I'll see if I can find a little picture of my first little square that I made. I know it's yellow, it's actually on my Instagram. So my Instagram used to be called Jego Art because I was like getting into my art again, and then I changed it to Jego Crochet, and that was like the first crochet pic that I ever put up. After that, pardon the pun, but I was just hooked. The nature of the job that I had back then only required me to work like 10 to 12 hours a week. I had a lot of time on my hands, so I was doing a lot of crocheting. And then in 2017, I think it was about 18 months after I learned to crochet, I really wanted to learn how to knit because I loved stockinette stitch, and I was like, you can kind of replicate it with crochet, but I was like, I really want to be able to knit. So then I got into that. Almost 10 years later, here we are, and me and Dan are about to celebrate our 10 years anniversary being together. Dan also likes to take credit for my success because he's like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have got into it. Don't worry, I absolutely don't let him get away with that. If you don't know him, like, he's the biggest joker, so he's always just winding me up. I realised over the years that I was fairly good and that I could design and that I had ideas. It just was so good for my creative outlet. The rest is history.